right there is the remains of the MacArthur skating rink. If you look back some of the older videos, I do have some racing videos, and that's where racing began for me. We raced on the wooden floor with silicone tires, and that was about 35 years ago. But they tore it down 2 years ago. That's all that's left. There we are. Welcome to Sophia. Hey Mike, remember this wall here? They still have the sign up. This right here was once a beauty salon. It was Gary's beauty salon, and my Donna used to cut my hair in there. This is the alleyway that we used to throw snowballs at cars coming down the road, because that leads right to my house, but it must be privately owned now or something. Yeah, they got like seats and stuff back there. Oh, there's a salon. That train track, I don't know if it's still, well, that main one still functions. I don't know what the caboose is. There's Dad's world famous China buffet, and he says it's a destination. This right here, this was Lou's restaurant. This was the only restaurant we had.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. And then this was my buddy Michael Walker. This was his parents' furniture store. This is where we used to get all of our refrigerator boxes to make go-karts and sleds to ride down the hill in front of the school. The bid to buy, that was a Ben Franklin, and that was before Ben Franklin was like a Michael's. It was just like a kind of like a Dollar General. They had everything: clothes, toys, some food stuff, malt cars. We used to play handball in this alleyway. And funeral home up here on the left. This intersection right here, I got hit by a car. We used to fly down this hill, and then we'd fly through here, and that used to be more of a hill right there, but we'd slide our tires in with our bikes and squeal tires. But I come out of this intersection right here, and the funeral home car was coming up the road. It was a Lincoln Town car, and luckily he wasn't going real fast, and he just knocked me over. It looks like the funeral home is not a funeral home anymore. This pavement lot was an apartment building, and then they tore it down, and then they ended up paving it, and that's where I used to run my little Porsche, little RC car when I first got it. That was the test track. Now that was not there. This building was not there, and it was a dirt lot, and that's where I ran my grasshopper. And those, you can see those blocks on that wall. We used to try to climb those blocks. Those blocks went from the ground up, and we try to get to the roof from those blocks. Probably think about to bust them. Okay. All right, right here is my house.
Oh, what happened to it?
I used to camp out on that porch as a kid. None of these trees were here. That was our laundry room. It was the only thing left. That was the only furnace in the house, was that right there. That was the whole heat system. There was no air conditioning. My bedroom was right here. Mom and Dad's master bedroom was back there, a little bathroom between them. Kitchen was in the right corner. And then the living room, my brother's room. I shared a room with two brothers. Well, one of my brothers until I was 13 years old. This driveway led up to the garage. That garage was not ours. That was our landlord. Our landlord's house was right here. And it looks like a jungle now. It's kind of weird to see it like that. Cat built too. Yeah, because that was... Now, I'm going to post a video at the end of this. It's got a 1980 something. And you'll see a completely different landscape. Because we used to ride bikes through this flowery yard, across here, and that's where we were jumping logs. You can kind of picture it. If you see the video, you can picture it. Yeah, but standing right here, I had friends everywhere. There was Amber and Susan lived there in the summertime. JB, Missy. End of the road was Jimmy. Johnny lived here. James and Jason, two brothers, lived right here. Michael lived in that house after they moved from Beckley when they owned the furniture store. Michael lived right there. Kenny lived in this apartment. Kenny's cousin Kenny lived across the street from the fire department down here. We'll go down there in a minute. Yeah, and my school was right up here. I'll walk up to the school. Anyway, yeah, the end of the road. Jimmy, when our moving truck moved here, it was 1978. I was 2. Jimmy rode up on his bike and he was waiting for the kids to unload the bikes out of the back of the truck. Because that was the thing you did in the 70s, I guess. You had to meet the new kids. From that day forward, we had friends everywhere. It was weird. The whole generation is completely different now. But, anyway, let's walk up to the school. I hope I'm not recording anybody's windows, but I seen somebody take off. But sitting on my front porch right here, now like I said, I used to camp out on that porch sometimes. And that's JB's house. That hill in the back used to be a little more dramatic. And I've had the breath knocked out of me more than once riding a sled down there, and we'd build a ramp and we'd jump into the backyard and you had to stop before you went into the house. But sitting here, there used to be a lady up, an older lady, Jackie, and she'd always scream at us for being loud. And she's up there smoking her cigarettes and screaming at kids. This house was always neat with the stone work. That's all. That has to be 100 years old. Who knows? All this stone work. Yeah, we used to play on that. This house with these steps, that's where we'd play school with Stevie, and Stevie would be our teacher. We'd all line up on the steps. We used to jump off of that building and try to fly with cardboard boxes, all the cool things the kids did. Because none of that was there. They put a culvert system in downtown and we would ride our bikes. We would get in down here on Main Street at the intersection and ride all the way to the junior high under the city, or under the town. Yeah, that used to be a little cubby hole right there, and it would cut through, and I was shooting through here, and that's when I got T-boned by the family car from the furniture store. Yeah, it's furniture store. Yeah, furniture funeral home. Now this is the hill we would ride our cardboard box cars. We'd make a 2x4 frame with big wheel tires, whatever we could find in the scrap. And we'd ride our cardboard cars down the hill. Yeah, there used to be a little cubby right behind that fence right there. And that's where we would cut through to my backyard. But this is my walk to school. Yeah, that was a funeral home. My grandmother's funeral was in this funeral home, and it is no more. It's kind of weird. It's been 20 some years since she passed away. This is nothing like it was. There was no trees here. Pine trees were here. They weren't that big. And there's the steps to the school. We did this every day from kindergarten to 6th grade. And what's cool is the sign's still here, and that's the original sign. There we go. Home of the Little Hawk. All right, there's our steps. Like 95 steps. Hard to get perspective. But I did that from when I was 5 years old till I was 13. And then right now where I'm standing is actually the school. For some reason, there's no pictures of this elementary school anywhere. But right here, you would walk up another set of steps and then another set of steps to upstairs in the school. That's the gymnasium that was built later on in the 80s. The school was built in early 40s, I think. That wasn't there. That was moved from somewhere. I think it was a Boy Scouts or something, and they moved it to this location. This used to be yard. That way was second grade, third grade was upstairs. Music class was over here. First grade was on the left. My sixth grade class was upstairs on the right side of the school. But none of that's the same anymore because that road wasn't there. That was the school. The school used to be butting up against those trees over there. Yeah, I believe that's the original gym. It looks like it's a Head Start program now. And it looks like they revamped the playground a little bit. But this playground was one of those death traps back in the day. We had the metal animals on coil springs. We had the metal jungle gyms, the stainless steel slides that would burn you. Along this fence line here was all the swing sets. And of course we were dumb kids. We would swing as high as we could and jump out of the swings. And if you were swinging this way, do a karate kick and go under the fence. Always good times. But right through here, there was two trailers. The school come out just even with the gym. There was a breezeway that connected the gym. And then there was two trailers right here. And the two trailers were kindergarten. Those are the original tennis courts. Right in here would be the monkey bars, the merry-go-round thing that you would, it was not real safe. The dome-looking thing made out of steel tubes was right here. Right where that tree is, a little to the right, was the big stainless steel slicky slide. And then this tree line over here, like I said, was the swing sets. A little bit of open area in the middle. This was all swing sets. The coil spring animals that would kill you, the cast iron on a coil spring. One over there, we called it the Hawk's Nest. It was like a UFO. It was all metal. And so the slicky slide was right over there. This pavement wasn't there. It was all dirt. So there's the elementary school. Another intersection, I got hit by a car. Baseball field was up here on the hill. You go up and go around, and it's a dirt road. It's pretty treacherous now. I don't think you can even drive out there. But we used to go out to the baseball field, and there were some trails and grapevines we used to swing on back there. But I come booking down through here. There's no stop sign. There's no nothing. And there was a food delivery service that drove a Volkswagen bus. And we met in the middle, and I T-boned the Volkswagen bus. Yeah, I flat spotted the whole front wheel. It was like circle straight. My buddy Jeff that lives in North Carolina now, his grandmother lived in that corner right there. He was my RC buddy. He had a Nico Lobo. Keep going. I really didn't have any friends out this way. There was up on this hill, up Polk Street here. We had a little secret stash. That was our little, you know, when you're kids, you build forts, and there's a couple of fallen trees up there, and we built a couple of forts, and that field led off into the baseball field area. All right, I'm not going to record well, I'm not going to record their address anyways, but this was my 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Milano. And Mrs. Milano's daughter was my coolest teacher I had at junior high. And she was, I believe she was the English teacher at the junior high down here. We're getting close to the junior high, and it's still there. The elementary school is long gone. It was torn down. I think it was deemed unsafe about 2 years after I got out, and I left here in 1988. I think by 91 it was demolished. It was starting to fall in. It was old. It was just lead paint, cast iron, coal heat. It had all the good stuff. People are on edge a little bit these days. Might be some, yeah. And right here, where Mr. Squirrel is, this hill was not covered in trees, and the library is off to the right. We used to sled on that hill right there. We'd ride rail sleds down that one and hit the pavement and go around the front side of the church. Yeah, unlike North Carolina, we did get quite a bit of snow here. Now this was not here. This was a house. There was a nice house here, and there used to be chestnut trees and green apple trees right here. We used to climb the trees. There was a fence line, a house. That was not there. There's a library. It's still intact. You can kind of see the hill from the back before all the forest had taken over. We used to ride this hill. Get a good coating of ice on it. We'd ride that hill with rail sleds and come down. It's good to see the library still intact. Looks like it's still functioning. All right, downtown at the intersection. I don't know if we can film that yet. We used to come out right here on our bikes. This is where we come out of the culvert pipe. We would, that was our post office, and then we would pop out right here. We're gonna walk down to the junior high. It's down this way. Hey, doggy. All right, this field. See, my brothers know a lot of these older people's names. I got older brothers that don't. I left here when I was 14. And on the old video that I'm gonna post at the end of this, you'll see this field of me jumping this curb down here on my bike. This field was not a garden. We used to play football out here. This was the tag football field. That double wide trailer was not there. This was all open all the way to the school. Our mayor, Mary Martin. Mary Martin lived here, and also she was the mayor. Not only was she the mayor, she was a 5th grade teacher. And I got in trouble. I got suspended from her. I did something I shouldn't have done in 4th grade, I think. She sent me home. All right, this church here, that was our clock. This has got the bell that would ring every hour, and that's kind of how we could kind of tell where we were. This is junior high. It looks pretty much exactly the same. Math class was right here. And this was our shop class. We actually had a wood shop in junior high. We actually built things and had saws. Now there's the baseball field, well, actually the football field. They done built some business out there, and the baseball field was on the back side of that. And I had another near-death experience coming down that hill. I come down that hill, and I cut in behind that guide wire. Somehow went between the guide wire. Bike flew up, and like I say, this trailer wasn't here. I flew up in the air, landed flat on my back right here, and knocked the wind out of me so bad I thought I was going to die. The city worker just happened to be at the school, and he drove me home instead of taking me to the hospital. This is the curb you'll see in the video. I'm jumping that curb when I'm like 7 years old. We're jumping that curb with our bikes. Motorcycle enthusiast. This building here, this guy here used to build FJ 1100s. That white building on the windows, he would have his bike set up on his tables. They built drag bikes back in the 80s. All right, so this is different. This was not paved. There are a lot of pictures of the junior high before. For some reason, I don't know why, nobody ever took a picture of elementary school. Can't find them on Google or anywhere. But this was not here. we had a parking lot area right here. This is where the school buses would come in. I never rode a school bus until I moved to North Carolina. School buses would come in here. Then we had this concrete walkway. And this was actually a creek. Oh, this has been covered up. I guess it's got pipes under the ground. And that was not there. I don't know what CDL Assistance LLC is. But this was the grand entrance to the junior high. Like I say, this is all grass. A creek with stones in it, like big gravel. And then there's your grand entrance to Sophia Junior High. And this is actually a high school before it was a junior high, way before my time. But I went to 7th grade here in 1987. And then we moved to North Carolina the following summer in '88. All right, now we're walking through the railroad tracks and close to my aunt's house. Yeah, we were poor and we didn't know it. We had bicycles and we had all these hills, trails, schools, grapevines up on this corner. Down this way we had the trails called the Cow Pass we used to ride on. But anywhere you went, you had to go up a hill. But the ride back was always fun. I walked up the hill both ways in the snow. Yeah, hey, we went to school in the snow. The school buses had chains on them. Well, yeah, when I wasn't skipping school. There was a period during 4th grade that I wasn't exactly shooting for a perfect attendance. 4th grade, I was terrible. Mom worked breakfast shift at Hardee's and I didn't want to get up. I had to get myself up for school. So this guy used to build bikes in there. It kind of looks like it still has that look because I see some side-by-side tires. And we're not far from the Hatfield-McCoy Trail. I think the Sophia tunnels are right up the road. That's pretty well known for the side-by-side community, I believe. We'll ride past that on the way to Pemberton. We're gonna go down to Pemberton to where my grandmother used to live, and I have another aunt down there. So we'll see that in just a minute. If you're curious, this town, even when we lived here in the 80s, I think the peak population was only like 1,300 or something like that. And I think it's a little over 1,000 now, maybe 1,100. And say it was great growing up here. Friends everywhere. I mean, as little as town as it was, I knew everybody, and everybody knew everybody. You could go to anybody's parents' house. This was our post office. We had a P.O. box. We did not have mailboxes on our street. If you notice that, there's no mailboxes anywhere on the streets. I don't know where the post office is now, but we used to get our mail right here. Yeah, this is our post office, and even back then, there was another fire department here in Sophia area. My dad was the fire chief at the Sophia Fire Department. This right here in this parking lot was a Plymouth dealership.
Wow.
We bought a new Volare in 1978 right here. All right, we won't cross the road here. Oh, now there's cars. Let's go across the road. This is kind of a quick trip. We're not going to go visit family because we're kind of just in and out today, but my Aunt Connie lives right there. That's where Tammy and Sandy and Pam grew up. That's what I was telling you, my aunt's driveway or her yard. That red roof right there is her house.
Wow.
You'll see. Now we used to come out here as kids. I'm sure it's a federal crime, but we were putting quarters on the railroad tracks. Yeah, there's my aunt's house and there's the railroad track. We come over here and we line up pennies on the railroad tracks and make giant pennies. He's turning around. All right, we're walking the tracks. You got to keep your ear to the track, see if you hear any vibrations of a train coming. I believe these tracks here are still functioning. The tracks in Pemberton are not. So we're gonna come around the corner here and you'll see what we're going after. Now, when we were riding bikes on this track in the summertime as kids, we would be here like during the week. And during the week is when the trains were running. And well, I don't think anything's come through anytime soon. There's some dirty footprints on there. But anyways, we got stuck in this tunnel a few times. Well, we'd get in the middle of it and we hear a train. We had to figure out which way is the shortest. Either go out or go back the way we came. One end or the other, you had to pick. We're gonna go to another tunnel. I hope we can get to it. And it's abandoned and it's fallen in, but it looks really cool. And it's at least a good picture spot. I don't think there's a Dollar General in sight. That looks like a Dollar General shopping cart on the railroad tracks. That would not surprise me. Now look at the date on it.
1923 to 1928.
1926 or 28. Yeah, somebody threw a Dollar General shopping cart on the tracks. There is not a Dollar General within at least 5-6 miles of here. There's been some animals in here. I see some footprints. Very interesting. It's got the acoustics in here. Don't want to get too deep, run into a crackhead or something out here. Looks like there might have been some human activity. A lot of beer cans and some graffiti. Boy, that poor Dollar General buggy has seen better days. Hey, but I think the frame's straight. I think we can save it.
Bluestone.
Maybe that's what the Bluestone's named after.
Yeah. You can see water.
Looks like the sun's come out. That's typical mountain weather. It might be raining across the street. We got a tropical storm back at home. Well, this is home too, but back in North Carolina, it's supposed to rain all day. It's only supposed to be 60 degrees today and cloudy, and it looks beautiful up here today. We're about 2 weeks early for fall foliage. This is the end of September. And yeah, there's a couple of trees changing colors, but not a whole lot. I think this town's about 3,000 feet elevation. That was a gas station. That's where I used to air my tires up on my bicycle. That's my aunt's house. All right, we're gonna walk the tracks till we get back to Main Street. All this town is, that was the showroom, and that was the service department for a Dodge dealership, Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth. And they used to have Dodges all lined up right here. Then it turned into a tow lot for a mechanic shop, and there used to be a bunch of totals out here. I'm gonna come here and look at the crash cars. That was, still is, Sophia Fire Department. And the little rock face store right there, that was our bar. A lot of these stores just kind of came and went. Even back then, they were always there would be something, then it'd be gone, then it'd be open, then it'd be gone. The laundromat, that was a convenience store. And when we would leave school, which is right up that alleyway, there's the steps we just came down or went up. Those steps, we come down there, come down the alleyway, run into the store and get our Reese Cup and Pepsi. That's what I grew up on. Yeah, this thing is good.
But the sun's out.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Didn't really know very many people on this side of the road other than my aunt and my cousins. Had Robert, Jan, Carrie. They lived on the hill on the far corner. Look at some of these roads. Just imagine in the wintertime.
Yeah.
They're one-lane roads up on hills. But man, you could haul butt on a bicycle through here. You just pedal up, you're gonna haul butt on the way back. There was the Ben Franklin. I had a friend that lived up there. Well, her grandmother lived there. And they had a special needs son, Ray, and her grandmother, and then Lori was the girl that I knew. This, right above the furniture store, was an apartment building. And they were going to gut the apartment building. And we got to go in there and demolish it, and we made a haunted house. And we raised money for the fire department one year. So we could just go in there and tear the place all to crap. And made haunted attraction. And then they turned it into like a Section 8, I think it is. Lower income apartments. I'm not sure if it's even open anymore. Like I said, that was Lou's restaurant, furniture store. Flower shop was a flower shop. Well, I don't know what it is now, but it used to be a flower shop. Trees right here. I don't have a picture of it, but in 1942, the Boy Scouts come and planted pin oaks through here. And them pin oaks were giant. And they got infested with bugs and they had to tear them down or cut them down. Yeah, it was beautiful. Them trees are giant. But these are getting there. These hadn't been here very long. Yeah, this was here, like 1940. That's when the trees were planted. And then they cut them down in the 80s. So, all right, on to our next adventure. There goes some young men going into the China buffet. Seems to be the place to be around here. All right, down here on the corner was a bank, actually. That was the one community bank we had. You're not in. The landscape has changed here quite a bit. Grandma's house used to be on the hill. We're now in Pemberton. I didn't film coming into town. Somebody did buy all this property, and we might be trespassing, but I think they'll be okay. My aunt's in good standings around here. She lives across the street. We used to ride our bikes down here. We come through this little opening down here. There used to be a lot of wild strawberries growing, and we'd pick a couple pounds of strawberries and take them back to Grandma, and she'd make something out of it. Coming up on the railroad tracks out here. The railroad tracks are non-functional. They are grown up. There's like a forest. So hopefully we can find our way to the fishing hole or swimming hole. That is the dam that well, I didn't build it, but we built. That used to be a beach. Not really a beach. And believe it or not, I used to swim in that. There's a road over there, and it used to be a little road coming out of here because Dad would pull his car down here and wash his car in the creek. He'd pull a car down in the bottom. Yeah, that's the same rock dam that was built. It looks quite a bit different. I hadn't been here in about 30 years. But yeah, it's kind of slimy, but yeah, we used to swim in that. Okay, we met the neighbors. We're good now. Now, believe it or not, this was railroad tracks through here that led to the train tunnel. Like I said, it's been 30 years, and they are no more. It is just a trail. Oh, here we are. Believe it or not, it's right there. There's the tracks. Those tracks were functional when I was here. Yeah, this was actually working when I lived here. There was trains on it. That went downhill fast. That is life after humans right there.
Yeah. Oh, look.
All right, train tunnel number 2. Like I said, when I was a kid, these tracks were functional. And we ride bikes out here. That is not going to happen now. All right, there is the train tunnel in my forehead. That used to be a functional train track. It was still running up in the 80s. It is not running anymore. It's starting to cave in. I'm not sure I won't even go back there. It's still partially there. Train tracks to nowhere. And say I don't know my history other than growing up here as a kid. I'm not sure what the next town this goes through, but that is the end of it right there. The tracks right on the other end of the tunnel end into forest again. This is what happens when humans are not intervening anymore. Nature takes back over. It's actually really pretty. There's friends and family trying to find their way back out here. Goodbye for now, Sophia. Exit. All right, we're on the 7 mile road. It has turned into gravel, heading into Sandstone Falls. It looks like we stumbled on a rally track or something, or an episode of Walking Dead. It's barely a lane and a half wide. I'm sure there's a better way to get here, but we're gonna go this way and we'll be there shortly.
So that's gotta be like a main.
I love him roads like that.
Don't want to be stranded on it?
Yeah, I could sort of float. I'm not sure if I could drag somebody
All right, we made it to Sandstone Falls, and we brought toy cars. We'll throw a little bit of that in there, but not much. It's really pretty out here. So let me turn you around. Get out of the river. I didn't get any of that on video, but got a little sketchy there. There we go. We're gonna walk the trail a little bit more and go over the bridge. It's supposed to be about a mile trail, and I think there's another area over there you can get off and get closer to the falls. So let's go for a walk. Coming up on beachy area. Strong tree right there. And holding that rock. All right, off we go to the beach.
Huh?
And I zoom in sometimes. It's weird. Nice to get that. I just broke. El Snappo. Oh well, it's a stock axle housing. First time I broke the front one.
How'd you do that?
Just got it bound up.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Casualty.
Oh well, that lasted about 5 minutes, so rock crawling footage will be limited. Broke a portal, well, I broke the housing, and I think I broke a bearing. This is kind of flopping around in there. So, back to the drawing board. Last man standing. Man, if I didn't break my truck, we could be out here for hours. Look at all that. Endless. Hurry up and break yours. So I ain't mad no more. Yep, somebody was having a moment of zen out here. More rocks. More trails. About 3 hours from home. I think if we leave at like, actually leave at like 7 in the morning, get up here about 10 and just stay all day.
Oh, yeah. Stay out here.
Yeah, stay right here. Yeah, I'm broke early. As you can tell, there are rocks and endless rocks and trails. We're going to come out here again and bring the trucks and bring some parts. Since my day was cut short. Joseph, he's still going. Cody couldn't come with us. He's sick today, but we will be back. about 3 hours from home, like I said. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Very pretty out there. All right, this is another first for me. I grew up about 40 minutes from here, and now I'm almost 50 years old and finally seeing it for the first time that I know of. We didn't do a lot of traveling around when I was a kid. And I left here when I was 14, almost 50 now, so I didn't do a lot of exploring. I didn't have the opportunity. I had a bicycle and my friends. So here you go. This is Sandstone Falls in West Virginia, right outside of Hinton. It's part of the new river. Yep, we're signing off for now. Slow down, boys. There's some rocks up here. About right there. All right, we're leaving a little piece here. Oh, nope. Hang on. We gotta have a topper on this thing. There's our stack. We're away from the river. So we're safe. We're on our way out, but look at all these trails.
What's the 10 scale actual mountain rock? Not the Capper.
Well, the waterfall's over there.
Yeah.
There's another one over there. Rocks. There's more rocks.
Oh yeah, you can cross over right here. See that?
Yep.
Yep. Oh, you can cross over here and go out on the top of it. So that would be cool. What is this?
No, there's the main trail or main waterfall right there. Here, off. There's the bridge. Yeah. Good job. All right, back to civilization, sort of. Like on the old pedestrian trail. That's an overlook right there if you want to walk. Been hooping it across the river.
Yeah.
All right, we're not done yet. We're gonna make a few stops along the way whenever we see something pretty. Some more river action. I don't think I'm gonna slip and fall in that. I'm going for a ride. Quick stop on the way home. The Bluestone Dam. We toured this in the 6th grade, and we actually went down in it. And that was 1986. I don't know what they're doing to it now. Looks like some sort of improvements. But yeah, pretty neat. Wasn't expecting to see that. Like I said, I hadn't been here. I didn't really drive when I was here, when I lived here, when I was a kid. We just went past the famous Hinton Dairy Queen, supposed to be the best hot dogs in the area. We didn't stop. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's see if we can walk out here. I think we can. Yep, you can. Out at the dam. Imagine that's somewhat of a reservoir. All the way down there. Looks like the intake's got a bunch of trees. All right. Back to the car. Like I said, I'm not sure if we're going to stop again. Wasn't expecting to see this. Another little bit of my vlogging today. It hasn't been, this is new. I'm trying. Hope y'all are enjoying this. And if you are, hit that subscribe button. Definitely going to come back up here and bring the crawlers again and bring some parts, obviously. These rocks are pretty cool and pretty treacherous. But, down by the river anyways. Alright, back to the car. Alright guys, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that little vlog experiment. Like most things, we kind of rushed through it. We tried to do it in the day trip, and it's another typical Saturday around here. We did we're at I believe 13 hours right now, and I wish we had more crawling video. That lasted about 5 minutes on the rocks. As you've seen, I got bound up between two rocks, and I knew better, and I goosed it, and it broke just the axle housing. I thought a bearing was gone, but I think it's just where this drive shaft is out and that support bearing there is not in place. Pretty simple fix. $10 worth of damage unless we do an upgrade. We may do an aluminum housing. But yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to do a little bit of old school video here at the end. This is the hometown. I'm going to throw it in at the end. It's like 4 minutes. You may be able to put together with some of the earlier beginning of the video, at least the house, or where the house used to be. Anyways, thanks for following along. Another weekend in the books. We're going to throw this battery on storage since we didn't get to run it much anyways. And we'll be ordering some parts. So hit that subscribe. We are inching towards 1,000. Thanks for everybody that's come along. We're a little over 700 now. That's pretty awesome. We're shooting for 1,000 by the first of the year, so we need 100 a month. That's asking a lot, but hopefully we can do it. So appreciate it, and stay tuned for the next one.